Hi, greetings, friends. Jacque Howard here. Welcome to Trenton 365 Midweek, broadcasting from Hub 13. Hub 13 is located at 13 West Front Street in historic downtown Trenton, New Jersey, half a block from the old barracks and about a block and a half from the historic Mill Hill Park. Make sure you ask about Take My Tour of Trenton and some of the walking and biking tours that we're going to be doing and leading from Hub 13. Thank you for tuning in and listening over whatever outlet that is, whether it's the social media outlets of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with hashtag or @ Trenton 365, as well as WING 1300 and the website WING1300.com, which is New Jersey's oldest radio station and the first to broadcast me and my outlet of Trenton 365. So forever thankful to WING 1300 and the website, WING1300.com. WPHY broadcasting over the Verizon Fios network in Mercer County, New Jersey, as well as WWFM Jazz on 2. With all that being said, this program is a mashup, mix-up of all the different things that I'm involved in. And the Trenton 365 Midweek is specifically talks about what I did the previous week, and then talking a bit about what I have coming up as of tonight, which I'll talk about first. So tonight with Yolanda L. Robinson, also known as Landy, Yolanda Landy Robinson, through Civics Up and Smoke, we host a multitude of events, and we do this 2 times a month. On Mondays, which is the last Monday of the month at Hub 13, we host Civics Up and Smoke here at Hub 13 West Front Street. All right, for Match That Monday. It's a smaller event. It's a networking event, 30 plus people coming in, hanging out, just talking about different things. We have a light refreshments and meals and some entertainment. But you can find out more by visiting the Facebook page, Civics Up in Smoke. Now, on the Civics Up and Smoke page, you will also know that we do something else on Wednesdays. And when I say Wednesdays, that is the first Wednesday of the month. In fact, the first Wednesday of the month is happening today, Wednesday, June 7th in the year 2023. That being said, Whimsical Wednesdays is taking place at Cooper's Riverview. Cooper's Riverview is located 50 Riverview Plaza on the riverfront in Trenton, New Jersey. Operating hours are 12 noon until later, so they're available for lunch. And then also make sure you check out their social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, to find out some of the specials that they're having, like the one that's going to take place tonight. So Civics Up and Smoke is at Cooper's on the first Wednesday of the month for Whimsical Wednesdays. And tonight our theme is caps, cigars, and cocktails. Now, there's no cover charge to come into the event. There's absolutely no cover charge. You can actually take advantage of the happy hour prices for drinks and food. For those of you who are craft beer fans, they have a very nice selection of craft beer as well, especially if you're into the locals such as Spellbound and Jersey Girl. They've got those here as well. So tonight for Whimsical Wednesday, it starts at 5 and goes to 7. Now, it doesn't end at 7. We just finish up at 7 because, I'd prefer to be in the crib, relaxing in front of whatever it is I want to do at home and with my family. Shout out to Vanessa and DJ. But after we're done, it's at 7 p.m., then the house band, Lance and Friends, comes on, and they play a mix-up of some originals, but a lot of cover tunes. They even take requests. So even with the ability to take requests, it becomes a fun atmosphere. And tonight, the special is their themed menu barbecue. So they're going to have barbecue. This is the season's first. This barbecue is going to include burnt ends, which a lot of folks have been asking Chef Dave about. They're playing with some ideas of a smoked Gouda, macaroni and cheese. They'll have the ribs and the wings and those things and the traditional sides with the beans, etc. But that's going to be launching tonight, Wednesday, June 7th. 5 to 7, we're doing Whimsical Wednesday, followed by Lance and the house band for the house barbecue get down, which is happening tonight. Cooper's Riverview from 5 until beyond. We're going to be done at 7. And that's myself and Yolanda Landy Robinson. Our website is Civics Up in Smoke, and that's on Facebook. All right, transitioning to something else that I had an opportunity to do, and that was to spend some time with some seniors. Shout out to the folks who are watching. Hey, Jody, Michael Disher, Maurice Howlett. What's up, neighbor? So with that being said, I was asked many years ago to participate in the Mercer Senior Pageant. Now, the Mercer Senior Pageant, I had no idea what that is. I'm still learning as it goes on, but so the Mercer Senior Pageant is just that. It's, you think of like the traditional Miss World or Miss America, those types of pageants. That is what takes place here. And Mercer County, New Jersey, and Trenton and the surrounding communities are well represented. And I got a chance to experience that firsthand earlier this week when I went with Miss Lawana. And Miss Lawana, big shout out to her and the Trenton and the Mercer seniors and all the efforts that they're doing. I'm rapidly approaching that area, so I'm trying to get myself acclimated to what it's like to be a senior. And off into the weeds a little bit, they're very helpful in explaining and sharing and opening my eyes up to the things that I am going to be coming into. Health, mobility, communication, networking, staying active, all those different things I'm learning from my elders. And I encourage you all to do the same because there's a lot for us to learn. And there's a lot that we have inside us that we need to share for those who are younger than us and who are around. So thank you to the Miss New Jersey Senior America Pageant as they presented Celebrate America, which took place on June 1st at the Harrah's Resort and Casino in Atlantic City. Harrah's, I have not been there in quite some time. I'm not a big gambler. Usually if I'm going to AC, it's a stopover, for something, or it's not really to go and hang out and gamble. I'm just not into, that's not my thing. But I appreciate it. I dig the technology, the space, like the energy and so forth in it. But the culture is something that bothers me because I think oftentimes the people just don't seem like they're in a good mood when they're gambling. But anyway, what Harrah's has in this space, in this facility, is an awesome space separate by itself. So you're kind of on your own, you're a bit isolated. But the facility was clean, the amenities were fine. All the service that we received, the group that I was with, was fantastic. I enjoyed, talking to some of the folks who work there, et cetera, and learning a bit about that as I enjoyed the Miss New Jersey Senior America Pageant. Now, shout out to the winners. I don't have all the information here, but I will get that, and I'll be sharing more about the Mercer as well as the Mrs. New Jersey Senior America Pageant later, and trying to sit down with those folks and have an interview with them and have them provide them an opportunity to share more about what they're doing and why they decided to stay active. So one of the overshared sentiments is that life is not over when you get older. And oftentimes it's opportunities for new beginnings and to pivot, to retrench, et cetera. So shout out to everyone who has pulled me aside or let me pull them aside and ask questions and take pictures and so forth. I really look forward to sitting down with you all later and talking more and more about that. And bringing that as a wraparound back to Miss Lawana and what she's doing with the city of Trenton, the Sam Naples Senior Center, and Mr. Willits and the folks who are involved in getting the messages out to the older folks in this region. Thank you for the work that you're doing as well. Myself and Yolanda through Civics Up in Smoke and other outlets, we're coming. We want to sit down and we want to talk to you, and we want to hear what you have going on, what you want to do, what you want to share, not only with the closest generations to you, but also those a little further away. And here at Hub 13, where I'm broadcasting from live, 13 West Front Street in historic downtown Trenton, we have a facility in a space where we can not only do these types of events, such as Whimsical Wednesday that we're doing at Cooper's, but Match That Monday. What we do here at Hub 13, these networking events can bring different themed opportunities together to get people to come together and share what they're doing. Hopefully in a space where it's a multi-generational. So we, in particular, people of color, can get back to this space where we're sharing more of our history, our culture, and it's not a bad thing. And to be unapologetic about that, and be unapologetic about, building a better community for everyone, because I believe I know that's my personal charge. So again, thank you for the invitation to the New Jersey Senior America Pageant. You all have been so helpful, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you more. And the men, beware, because I think that it's time for the men to get some representation in this. Over the years, I've been to a couple of these, and I haven't seen a lot of guys. And I know that there are some definitely talented men out there who can do pageant type things, such as perform and performing arts, etc. I think it would be good for them and good for society, for everyone to get a chance to see them as well. So men, I'm going to be coming for you all as well. And all right. Under the category of civics, under Jacque R.E.A.C.H, R-E-A.C.H, standing for Recreation, Environment, Art, Civics, and Health. Under civics, I talk quite a bit about my faith. And my faith, I worship as a Christian. I worship as a Presbyterian in the Presbyterian denomination. I serve as a ruling elder in the Presbyterian PCUSA denomination. And with that being said, I appreciate the opportunity that I have at this time and in this denomination to be free and to be myself, and to do that in whatever form that is, and to be able to be provided opportunities and platforms to share and to encourage, edify, and even challenge others of my faith who claim one thing but may have actions to do something other, or choose to do something other, excuse me. So with that being said, where I am in a faith space, I'm very happy and thankful that I'm able to serve at Westminster Presbyterian Church, which is known as a church of light. It's open and affirming to folks of all backgrounds. That includes everything as far as your sexual preference or origin, etc. So LGBTQIA plus community is welcome at Westminster Presbyterian Church. With that being said, Reverend Karen Hernandez Granson, along with the other leadership at Westminster, have been progressive in trying to stay connected to what the community is seeking and are in needs of. And without going into lots of detail about all the programming, I encourage you to check out the website for Westminster Presbyterian Church in Trenton, New Jersey. But the programming, or I don't know if program is the right word, but what we do as a congregation with our community partners is what our community partners would like for the church to do. Not only providing the spiritual guidance and direction, but also providing a space and an opportunity for food, or for education, or for youth, or for the older population, or for those who are returning citizens, who are entrepreneurs, etc. And one of those programs that we have, or initiatives that we have, is the Trenton Microloan Collaborative. Now, the Trenton Microloan Collaborative it has been in the works for several years now. Stay tuned. The website is coming. It's being created by a local organization. Shout out to Science Plus, which is Marino Posa and his company. I believe that's the right name of it, but apologies if I was wrong. So they're designing much of the marketing and the website, etc. And shout out to Valeria, who's been a big help in the Trenton Microloan Collaborative's website. Now, the Trenton Microloan Collaborative was formulated under the idea of providing financial assistance to returning citizens who are entrepreneurs. Now, there is a criteria they have to meet, and without going into details about what that is, there's a criteria that they have to meet, and like many Presbyterians know, it's in good order, is what they like to say. So there's many chains, so to speak, of asking questions and meeting and to decide best practices. So our due diligence, we believe, has been done regarding how we've designed the Trenton Microloan Collaborative in our group, which is made up of members of Nassau Presbyterian Church and Westminster Presbyterian Church, with a much larger growing advisory and partner group, which are SMEs, service matter experts, such as Tracy Syfax, with the work that he's doing from the block to the boardroom, and his assistance with connecting us with our first recipient, Jeffrey Augustin, who joined myself and Jonathan Schenk as we presented before Nassau Presbyterian Church this past Sunday. Now, we presented the history and where we are now with this organization, and touched on our current 4 recipients, and that would include Stephanie Register and Stephanie Register's organization, Recovery is Essential, and the work that she's doing with making sure that she is sharing her experiences, but also providing a safe space for others who are in recovery and who are living in recovery. And I believe that Stephanie recently celebrated a milestone with her recovery date. And I know Lee Ingram out in the listening and viewing audience has as well. Shout out to you both. And Vanessa, yours is coming as well too. So we love you all. And that's also part of what the church, we do at Westminster, what we believe it is. We're coming along each side of each other as partners, as families, and working to, how do we all get better at what we're trying to get better at? And with no judgment, without a critical spirit, but recognizing that we are all human and we're going to do some different things that might not be nice or that we may regret later. But working through those things, having equitable conversations across the table, over food or beverages or whatever. That's what we're doing. So Jeffrey owns Deals, which is located at the corner of Broad and State Streets in Trenton, New Jersey, right across the street from First Press, for those of you in PCUSA or Coastlands Presbyterian. And if you envision a 1980s, 90s vision of what a New York fashion store would look like, with lots of merchandise, fabulously put together, wonderful prices, engaged ownership and staff. That's what we have with Jeff's Deals with a Z instead of an S. They're available on social media. He's very active on talking about his experience on social media, about his experience at the store, about his business, about him being formerly incarcerated. And most recently, we sat down and had a quick video about him and how he feels about Trenton Microloan Collaborative and what it has meant to him. So stay tuned. That's going to be up on the website for Trenton Microloan Collaborative. That'll be shared through the Trenton 365 networks and several others. So stay tuned for that. Under recreation, I want to talk about and continue to talk about biking and basically transportation, biking, walking, pedestrian, all rolling access. I guess it was 2 years ago, I was in a car accident, and I had some mobility issues because of injury to my knee. So with that, it opened my eyes to what many challenges people live with or worse on a regular basis. So that led me to think more about what does that look like from my perspective as far as sharing that information and trying to build some kind of coalition or information around mobility, especially for people, who are mobility challenged. And then tying in my relationship with TCR, Trenton Cycling Revolution, and being an advocacy organization, and then experience with the green team and recognizing that, ADA compliancy is a thing, and there's an opportunity for Trenton and other municipalities to be locally that I'm in contact with, for them to be more ADA compliant. So I'm looking at how does that look from a media perspective? Is it more than just talking about it, or is there some action steps? So I recently was part of, actually this week, the DVRPC Prospect Street Bus Stop Design Workshop. I'm going to read this to you, and that might make it easier. All right. TCR, Trenton Cycling Revolution, and its participation in the Prospect Street Bus Stop Design Workshop, Monday, June 5th, 11:30 to 1:30. All right. So this was an in-person workshop. We met at City Hall for Trenton. And the project purpose was to reduce conflicts between buses and bicyclists, especially at bus stops and intersections. Workshop goal: bring road owners, which is the City of Trenton and Mercer County DOT, and bicycle advocates, Trenton Cycling Revolution, and New Jersey Transit together to brainstorm bus stop designs on Prospect Street, which is slated for repaving next fiscal year. So we had an agenda that included the introduction of the project, review of signage, pavement markings, and infrastructure options, and create conceptual bus stop designs for 2 stops along Prospect Street using items from the menu, and to share design and discuss next steps. We did all of that through breakout sessions, and we'll be sharing more information about what that looks like later with some of the artwork. But the point about this is what I want to make is that me, an everyday citizen, I am able to be in spaces, having conversations, making connections, sharing and communicating ideas as a citizen, as a resident in these spaces. And oftentimes I'm the only person who's representing a neighborhood or a community or a particular demographic that I represent. And I'm not bringing this up to talk about, the disparity of that, because that it is what it is, but I'm looking at it from the perspective of, we need more people from the community involved in these conversations at higher levels, and more of the conversations at the higher level being available and accessible to people who are general residents. Now that's going to take having meetings and doing things not during traditional business hours. I'm able to do that, but there's other folks who I'm absolutely certain aren't going to be able to go to a meeting in downtown Trenton City Hall from 11 to 2 and to talk about an infrastructure project that they may or may not have any interest in. And that's what we have to think about as a culture and as a society. In other places, there's more engaged citizenry, and with that engagement, more people have an opportunity to share what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what their expectations are, what the things that they want. And the voting numbers, which I would say are a good representation of engagement from residents in Trenton, mimic what is taking place nationally. And it's less than 30%, in some cases, and way less than 30%. So that leads us to think, well, who is really making all the choices and decisions in spaces, as a bus stop design, all the way up to bus stop designs across the nation? If there's very few people getting involved in the process and only a few people are making those decisions, then those few people are the ones who have all the power, so to speak. So with that being said, civically, get more involved, more engaged in your local community, whatever that is. I would advise you to start by just listening and asking some basic questions like the functionality Like, what is your government structure like? Because oftentimes in places, the figurehead isn't the one who makes the decisions. It's generally someone in finance or in law. But research that for your community and figure out how you can get involved in that. And if there's an issue or something that bothers you or you want to see improved in your community, speak up and ask a few questions. More than likely, if you live in a functioning community or government, you'll find out how to get things done, because that's part of what the government is supposed to do. And you could always tell them it's about quality of life. They always listen up quickly to that. All right. I encourage you all, with biking and walking and pedestrian access, give some thoughts when you're traveling. In particular, in New Jersey Safe Pass law was recently put into office. I believe last year was the inaugural year of it. So it's very specific about what you have to do when passing someone who is walking or rolling, and in regards to what the striping is, single line, double line, etc., and passing on what side, etc. Please pay attention to that. Since the pandemic, there has been a major uptick in the amount of people who have been in accidents, pedestrians and cyclists with motor vehicles, as well as deaths. And specifically here in Trenton, New Jersey, we've had that happen. Those statistics, just like on a national level, are representative here as well. You may see a couple of all-white bikes with a tag on them around Trenton. They're called ghost bikes. They are to signify someone who lost their life in an accident of some sort while they were rolling. So keep that in mind when you see those as well, and think twice about, is it really worth it to not pay attention or to not give way to someone, who is walking or rolling in some capacity. But DVRPC, they put that together, so thank you to them. There's going to be a few other, Greater Mercer TMA is another organization to look out for. Trenton Cycling Revolution, our COG bike shop is up and running Wednesday nights. It's available. Make sure you look it up on the social media site or go to the website, trentoncycling.org, and there you can see all the times. You can volunteer, you can donate a bike, you can earn a bike if you're a young person, etc. All right, let's see here. Wednesday, talked about that. And finishing up here, I want to talk about the advocacy that I do for cannabis and what that looks like, and just to make sure that I'm giving constant clarity to what this is so that people fully understand. So off the rip, I am a medical marijuana patient. I have my medical marijuana card in the state of New Jersey, as well as any other place that I go where I'm able to register as a medical marijuana patient. I do that as well. And I do it for a multitude of reasons. One, because cannabis has really helped me as a person. I like to say that it saved my life. I was prescribed some medication that had an adverse effect to my body. And thankful to my wife and my family that, were there to point these things out. And cannabis was something that was something I implemented to take the place of the pharmaceuticals, and it has been very helpful to me going forward. In addition to that, I've been able to use or combine my platform as a media personality to talk about cannabis and medical marijuana and the hemp industries, and to do it from a capacity of my personal experience. With that being said, I've been able to set up an entrepreneurship opportunity with my two business partners, Phil Charles and Damon Williams. And with us, we have what's called Black Cannabis. Now, Black Cannabis is a consultant organization, as well as a multitude of others. We can talk to you more about what that looks like and where you'd like to do operating, but that's very complex because of what's happening with the cannabis space and how it is impacted in each state. But I wanted to talk about a couple quick things, but I'll touch a bit more on Black cannabis so that you can kind of get an idea, and then I'm going to talk about the LOVE program. All right, so Black Cannabis, again, we're a consulting organization. Our office is based out of 13 West Front Street, which is Hub 13. And we're having an event coming up on June 19th, and I'll talk more about that shortly. But Black Cannabis, again, is a consulting organization. We as members are on the license of a couple of cannabis-related organizations that have been approved by the state of New Jersey. They're in the process. So with them being in the process, we are in a process of explaining and sharing about our experiences and assisting others who want to be in the space of cannabis legally about the best practices, so to speak, as well as sharing our networks, and then providing services as a conduit between the municipalities, the MSOs, which are the multi-state operators, just consider them the big corporate entities in cannabis, and the local communities where they exist, as well as the folks who are in cannabis, have been involved in cannabis, maybe not from the legal side. We'll call that legacy, or as that's known as legacy, the legacy operators, assisting them in the process of transitioning into the legal cannabis space. And within that, also talking about what does that look like as far as the other opportunities through intellectual property and white labeling, and even the hemp industry, and what the hemp industry is going to look like going forward. And for those of you who are interested from the investment side, don't think so much about cannabis and marijuana from the aspect of the stimulative and getting high perspective, but think about it more from the perspective of the hemp industry and what the hemp industry is going to provide, not only from the health benefits of it, but also through the creation of other products. There's all different types of figures that are thrown out about what you can expect or can be made from hemp, and it's like tens of thousands of different products. But until we get to the space and the place where on a national level we have some sort of equal understanding about growing hemp, et cetera, and the processing, until we have that, there's always going to be issues where you're not going to be able to grow it, or there's going to be restrictions on it. Like I'm here in New Jersey, and from what I understand today, June 7th, 2023, I cannot grow cannabis. I cannot grow hemp as an individual, even if it's for my own use, which I have questions about, and hopefully I'll be able to use some of my opportunity to speak more about what the homegrown bill looks like, and what homegrown looks like for folks like myself who could drastically offset costs by being able to grow at home for home use. So with you want to get in touch via that, Black Cannabis is black-cannabis.com. Now, transitioning over to the LOVE program. Now, the LOVE program LOVE is an acronym for Legacy Operators Vying for Equity. Now, I spoke about how Black Cannabis is working as a consultant to assist folks who are in the legacy market to transition into the legal market, air quotes. Well, with doing that, we've come up with this idea and this business model of what that looks like. And that is the LOVE program. And we're excited about it. There's a lot of buzz about it. And just stay tuned for more about the LOVE program. I don't want to burn up too much of this time going into the details about the LOVE program, but I'm a little giddy about it. So again, LOVE, L-O-V-E, Legacy Operators Vying for Equity. So via Black Cannabis and the LOVE program, at Hub 13 on Monday, June 19th, from 5 to 9 p.m., Black Cannabis is hosting a Juneteenth mixer. The mission of the LOVE program is to empower individuals impacted by the war on drugs, specifically those from communities disproportionately affected by the criminalization of cannabis, through a variety of services, including expungement, cannabis scholarships, prisoner assistance, medical marijuana registrations, and employment opportunities. LOVE, Love, aims to provide a pathway from cannabis prohibition and safely transition individuals into legal market while advocating for equity and justice. I'll be hosting that event on Monday, June 19th, 13 West Front Street, Hub 13 West Front Street in historic downtown Trenton from 5 to 9 p.m. We're waiting for clarification from who we're going to be our live panelists, because we're going to be talking about some different things, such as cannabis and faith. And the Cannabis and Faith is a series that I'll be doing. It's an ongoing series where we'll be talking about faith leaders of all backgrounds, about them and cannabis. And the conversation will be very specific. Will be about the health portion of it. Everyone wants people to feel well. The next will be about the economy. This is going to be jobs. This is tens of millions and probably billions of dollars that are going to be created through this forthcoming industry. Wouldn't everybody want to be a part of making more money, especially if your community is one that's been downtrodden? And being downtrodden is the social portion of it. If we can accurately point to something specifically done as a policy that was designed specifically to harm a specific group of people, wouldn't we do the right thing to stop that and provide an opportunity to correct those historic wrongs? That's the social component of it. So Cannabis and Faith, the Love Program, all can be found on the website black-cannabis.com. So a quick recap, or at least before I sign off, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And tonight, you'll be able to catch me Wednesday, June 7th at Cooper's Riverview for Whimsical Wednesday. Civics Up and Spoke. Yolanda L., Landy Robinson, and myself will be there from 5 to 7 p.m. They have a themed barbecue menu that Chef Dave is introducing. Burnt ends, for those of you who are into that, they're on the menu. I heard there may be some smoked Gouda, macaroni and cheese, of course, the sides and the fixings, and I know they got St. Louis barbecue ribs. No cover charge to get in. Happy hour drink specials. If you don't want barbecue, they got a happy hour food and snack menu. The patio area is open. Our theme tonight: caps, cigars, and cocktails. I'm Jacque Howard. Thank you for tuning in. Trenton 365 midweek, broadcasting from Hub 13 West Front Street in historic downtown Trenton. Remember, friends, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.